What should you do if a man falls in love with a married woman, or perhaps has already entered into a relationship with her? In reality, there are only four life scenarios here regarding how your relationship might develop, and how and why it will end, and I'm going to tell you about everything. But first, let me clarify. Your case will not be an exception to the rules, and all the information you are about to hear is not based on my assumptions, guesses, or hypotheses. This information is based on real, living stories of people. We have to understand that any infidelity is not a story of great love. Infidelity is never accidental. It is something a person practices for a long, long time. A man harbors a certain illusion that the woman succumbed to this temptation because she fell in love, because the man is special, because they were meant to meet much earlier in this life. Everything is against them, but they will fight for their love. I'm going to say something quite harsh, but it applies to all cases. She was nurturing the ability to cheat within herself, and this is how it always happens. It all starts with the fact that she doesn't love her husband and never did, and then she begins to pay attention to other men. Then she starts behaving provocatively. She starts making eyes at people, checking them out, provocatively provoking someone, getting attention, and thinking about it. And only then, sometime many years later, does she meet you. And you might not be the first, but no one will tell you that. This is one of the important points. Any man who gets into a relationship with a married woman hears the story that she has never cheated before. That is not true. Let's move closer to those scenarios I spoke about a bit earlier. Scenario number one is the story where the woman is merely seeking lust on the side. She can be sweet, beautiful, seductive. That is, she might practically introduce herself, making the best impression. So a picture is painted for the man of an ideal wife, an ideal mother, but her husband doesn't understand her in some way, doesn't provide something, how he doesn't appreciate her. If I were in his place, but the woman has no serious plans, and for this reason, this is a hint at a sort of no strings attached story that can end very, very quickly. But most often, it doesn't end there. And that brings us to the second scenario, which is perhaps the most common one. This is the story where she wants to fall in love on the side. This is the story where a woman deliberately begins to first become charmed and then warp your shared history. Just imagine for a second how you take a wet towel in your hands, and after a while, you start wringing it out. That is roughly the same thing an adulteress does. At first, seemingly trying to get her fill of these secret meetings. It's all pure dramatization, a desire to turn her life into a TV series, but a very realistic one. If you try to draw conclusions solely based on her words and behavior, listen, it will seem to you that she loves you more than your own mother does. But is that the truth? Alas, no. And for this reason, she starts to deform the scenario. That is, suddenly and unexpectedly, she starts to doubt. Should we be seeing each other? Suddenly, some additional obstacles and barriers arise. Suddenly, she says, well, this isn't right, seeing each other like this. I don't feel at peace. That is, this false confession, you could even say, is terrible. That is, the man, being in this eclipse of reason, believes it. He hears from her lips some alleged pangs of conscience. He thinks, oh, what a good woman. The only thing standing in your way is the husband she has. Perhaps children too. Well, such a trifle, right? I mean, what's the big deal? But the woman is wonderful. After that, she gets bored behaving consistently. That is, she wavers. One moment the meetings need to stop, then she loves you very much. Then you need to put everything on pause. And if you have a wife, then she will start triggering a scenario so that you leave her. This is, by the way, a very insidious thing. That is, as soon as the man leaves his wife and says, that's it, I'm ready. Ready for what? Well, demonstrating my intentions, my serious ones. Yes, you said you were jealous, but that's it. Now I'm definitely ready. And then he sees that she distances herself. So she starts warping this scenario, constantly causing large bursts of emotion in the man, provoking him to start fighting for her. This reaches the stage where the man is ready for anything, absolutely anything, to get married, to leave his wife. And right here, that's it. She starts saying that our paths don't align. And at that point, essentially, it's the end. The next scenario, when the woman has actually left her husband, allegedly left. That is, she still maintains a certain connection with him. These could be stories that they are living together, just cohabiting. They haven't had anything between them for a long time, and he hasn't attracted her for a long time. By the way, don't believe these fables they tell about necessity. I understand there is a part of truth there, but there is very little percentage of objectivity to be believed in this. So, this story, scenario number 3, is when she tries to sit on 2 chairs at once. This happens often, and you constantly start receiving signals. At first, it doesn't worry you. After all, they are cheating with you, right? Very honorable. You start to realize that there is some communication on such a short leash. It can be covered up by anything: children, necessity, property. In most cases, they simply won't tell you what is happening there. But I will tell you a scary thing. She does not intend to fully leave him. Why and for what? This is what surprises me the most. Men do not fully understand the internal makeup of an adulteress. They don't understand the degree of selfishness. You are expecting love from a woman who doesn't give a damn about her children, who doesn't give a damn about her husband, who doesn't give a damn about morality and ethics, conscience, and generally the whole world, all people. This is a person who has put animalistic pleasure in first place, and you expect love from her, expect loyalty from her, but these are just 2 crazed bodies, let's be blunt. And for this reason, in this scenario, the man who is in love with her, yes, specifically him, he starts to get jealous of her husband for some reason, and starts showing more initiative. And basically, in the end, he destroys the balance, gets dumped, and that's the end. There is one more variant. When the woman has actually fully left her husband, and it would seem, supposedly, now we'll really start living. But the adulteress gets pleasure and ecstasy from the fact of cheating, forbidden and dirty, but not from relationships and family. And for this reason, as soon as you remain together one-on-one, that's it, live, well, here is happiness, that's it, let's go, forward. The longer these relationships last, the worse they will be. And they always end exactly the same way. She won't just leave, she will definitely find someone else. The scenario of her relationships will be one and the same, therefore there are never any exceptions here. We also must understand that the degree of promiscuity she has already reached is only gaining momentum. This is a person who is incapable of being in a family, being in family relationships. This is a deformed person at the current period of time. If someone were to ask me, does it happen that this changes? It would take a miracle. Absolute repentance is necessary on her part, a miracle, and she would have to turn into an absolutely different person. Often a man in such stories feels simply an incredible attraction to the woman, can't look at others, doesn't need to at all. If there is a wife, he forgot about her a long time ago, and it seems to me very much so that this is proof of some kind of love. No, it is madness. This is genuine madness, in which there is no happy ending. It is the same as in childhood, a snowslide that you go down on a sled. To look in the direction of a married woman is to look into a pit. That is, take one step from the slide itself. You will tumble down quickly. Stopping is incredibly difficult. And if you have rolled to the end, and there is an end, then the man finds himself in a situation where being with her is difficult, impossible, unavailable, or bad for some reason, but being without her is even worse. And this is where despondency and despair start to visit, and life turns into a living hell. And there are no other endings here. I want everyone watching this video, they will be watching it when they are already lying at the bottom of the slide, to understand. You have a predictable finale. It's not that circumstances aligned a certain way, that something was needed. After all, it could have been good. But no, no, no. You have a predictable finale. And climbing back up the slide will be hundreds of times more difficult. Is it possible to save yourself? Of course, yes. I have good news. All that pain you are experiencing right now is given to you for your own good. To become better, to cleanse yourself, to reorient yourself in life. And then life will normalize. And the first thing you need to start with is to stop meetings and communication with this woman. By the way, if a man does this at the stage when they can still see each other, she will reach out and pull you back. You know where the obvious devilry manifests itself? It manifests when a man tries to get out of this vicious scenario himself. Remember, I told you about when the woman deforms this story, doubts, leaves, comes back after a while. If a man tries to get out in these circumstances, he is pulled back. And where is he pulled? Into the same fog and confusion. Do you understand? Someone won't let him get out of this scenario. And she is possessed. Be horrified. it is scary. If you left a wife who behaved decently, it is time to think. And the best thing you can focus on is, perhaps without accompanying internal emotions for now, to have a good attitude toward your wife. And if this is really the case in your situation, that after everything that happened, she takes back such a dirty, unwashed yes, just like that, practically without saying a word, don't be fools, value this person. Thus, understand the main thing. In the equation with a married woman, there is no right answer. All four scenarios are just different paths to the same abyss, where disappointment, emptiness, and lost time await you. Do not comfort yourself with the illusion of your own exceptionalism. This love triangle is held together not by high feelings, but by lies, egoism, and a pathological craving for drama. The only way to win in this game is to exit it once and for all. Gather the remnants of your will, cut off all contacts, and direct your energy toward healing your own soul or restoring what you, perhaps, have not yet managed to completely destroy in your real, not imaginary, life.